Welcome back to Fortress Education. This is Ed. Today we're going to be talking once more about Wish. Wish is also known as Context Logic, and this company here we're going to be covering again a bit of due diligence, technical analysis, and what we can actually anticipate in the next few days or so. We've actually covered Wish before, but today we have some new news. Now, this company has been dropping ever since, I would say, a year and a bit from now. In the last year, it's been a massive downtrend. We're going to talk about that in technical analysis a little. But first, in terms of taking a look into the fundamentals, you're seeing just off the bat 1.64 price over book and around 0.58 price over sales, which seems heavily undervalued compared to what the price point is. We're going to take a look into management effectiveness and other metrics as well for the fundamentals to understand why the downtrend. But they have new news coming in back on the 15th of February. Wish unveils new shoppable video feature to tap into the growing demand for immersive content. Now, they mentioned that they're one of the largest mobile e-commerce platform, and they announced something called Wish Clips, which is a new shoppable video feature that is designed to greatly enhance the customer experience and simplify the path of purchase. So I'm imagining it's something where it's very similar to something like TikTok products or something you see on Instagrams, and then you click on the clip itself and it goes to the product itself. So that is what they're trying to do here. So not really we're trying to recreate the wheel, but adapt something where could easily work in their favor, where someone shows you the product, you see it in real life, you don't see kind of a poofed up picture, and then click on it and get it. So I remember once buying on Wish a normal bag, showed the size as being normal, and then I got like a very miniature bag. So maybe that will also uncover some of the barriers when someone is buying stuff on Wish. Also on the 2nd, it said on the 2nd of February, Wish ramps up efforts to improve product quality by becoming an invite-only platform for new merchants. So this is again, Wish has a quality problem and they did address it before. Previously, they said they were going to give kind of like a star rating or basically on items that might be more of a replica, they're going to give kind of a star rating as well as new items. And now they're basically mentioning, as you get to see, like having an invite-only platform for new merchants, perhaps to adjust for the number of people that would just basically remove their product and upload again and doesn't have a star rating. And as well having into that kind of clip features where you get to see the product in real life kind of situation, like the video. Now, also they announced inductments of grants under the NASDAQ listing rule. So that was basically relating towards just grants in general. Basically, Mr. Talwar to enter into employment. This is basically relating towards the new CEO. And he would receive things like stock options, grants. That is kind of normal thing to see. But yes, they do have a new CEO. So effective February 1st, 2022, Mr. Talwar succeeds Wish founder and former CEO, who will continue to serve as a member of the board. Now, this person, the CEO, is an experienced retail and e-commerce consumer brand executive who has led significant digital operations transformation within both established and rapidly growing multinational enterprises. In his most recent role as CEO of Foot Locker's Europe, Middle East, and Africa business, he was credited with building strong customer-focused omni-channel retail business and increasing sales, profitability, and market share. Previously, as a president of Foot Locker Digital, he successfully repositioned the business as the fastest growing and most profitable segment within the Foot Locker's portfolio. So hopefully we're going to get to see kind of a massive growth within Wish based on his leadership, and we still yet to see some changes. And the reason why I'm saying that is because management effectiveness, when you look at return on assets, you're seeing negative 64% year over year, and return on investment capital has been negative 175%. So these are definitely not good metrics, but you get to see that's why the downtrend, and hopefully with the new leadership, these values would actually change and reflect positive values. Profitability for gross margins, it's been around 56%, which is really good. But when you start taking a look into stuff like net profit margins, negative 34, EBITDA margin of negative 31%, that's not really looking good. Now, valuations, it's still heavily undervalued both on a yearly metric and on a price over book quarterly metric. But overall, the management is an issue, and I'm glad to see a new CEO. And hopefully that would basically pave the way for a more successful and more management effective company. Now, in terms of institutional buyers, we do have a few things happening here. So on the 14th of February, we see this company here, Temasek Holdings Private Limited, liquidating 0.62% of their entire position. So they had around 27 million shares. Now they have around 640,000 shares. Also, you get to see GGV Capital. They liquidated around 5.4% of their entire position. And you get to see a few actual things happening. Like, for instance, Formation 8 Partners Fund liquidated 34% of their position. But you get to see some other companies like Vanguard Group adding around 38 million shares on the 9th of February. So that is an interesting thing to see here. Institutional institutional buyers in general are kind of mixed. Like Goldman Sachs, for instance, liquidated their put and liquidated their shares by around 54%. Berkshire Capital added, but Strategic Wealth basically removed their shares or got rid of their shares. So it is kind of a two-side street that you're getting to see a little bit more selling in from the bigger names, like massive selling blocks. But overall, you're able to see it's kind of a two-way street. Now, in terms of insiders, some people might just look at this and say, hey, they're selling. But you got to understand that basically, even though they're selling, a lot of their shares is still there. Like, for instance, here, you're able to see units changed is around negative 70,000 shares. They still have around 316 shares, or 316,000 shares. And the reason why is these people are being paid with stock options at times, rather than just having cash basically sent to their accounts. Now, before moving on towards technical analysis, if you'd like to see more contents like this, make sure to click the subscribe button and leave notification buttons on for the channel. Also, don't forget to drop a like, and let's move on towards technical analysis. Now, from a technical analysis perspective, what we get to see for Wish, there are a few things that are interesting. For instance, moving averages, the moving indicators themselves, have been declining for the longest time in almost a very stable fashion, where you have the 50 SMA above the 30 EMA above the 10 SMA. So this is showing in a very strong downtrend indeed. Now, the average directional index isn't showing much kind of action in either direction, momentum-wise. However, the Williams percent R shows that this stock is highly oversold. And in a sense, it's very similar to what an RSI or relative strength index would show you. The stock shows you that there is more supply than there is demand at the current time being. In terms of the MACD, that is attempting to go on a negative reversal again. Even though it has been a downtrend, it is attempting to go on the negative side sometime early next week. Momentum has been negative for the last few days, although between the 17th and the 18th, it rebounded a little bit of positiveness compared to the day before. So it's still negative 0.41, but it could be going in the right direction. However, stochastic fast and stochastic slow are both going downwards. That suggests a negative trend as well, or a test for another support. That's very dangerous. In the moving average bands, you're expecting to see basically movements between 264 in the top and 216 in the middle, with 240 being, 240 in the middle, 216 at the bottom. So you do expect it to propagate mainly between the 264 and 216. The Bollinger Bands are a little bit outside at 274 and 206. Currently, what we've been seeing is that it mainly propagates within the moving average bands. Although the unbalanced volume is still one of the lowest it's been, and it really shows people are selling stocks rather than buying, and that is the pressure that is going on it. Now, on Fibonacci retracements, we're able to see a significant resistance at 936, 1385, 1747, 2110, and 2627. The support is at 210, my bad. Now, there are a few supports and resistances. Starting off with the support, there's actually no lower support other than the one on 215 and 210. Resistances, there are a few, such as on the 226, 237, 246, 259, 267, 279, 290, $3, 317, 330, 338, higher to 357, 375, 386, 398, 424, 440, higher up to around 506, and then up to 548, 557, 581, and 631, and you kind of get the point. There's no point of going higher. Now, on the institutional buyers kind of perspective, we do like sometimes to look at analyst recommendations. And the analyst recommendations currently in the last 3 months has an average of 2 holds with a price target of around 350, which is around 61.29% upside. Coming to the question, Ed, what do you think about this one? Well, this stock has been painfully going down, and I'm not sure even where the bottom is, but currently we see a good support around the $2, so we can anticipate for it to stabilize around then. Now the question is, will it bounce back? Well, hopefully with a new management, a new CEO, that will see a good rebound and a good bounce back to a positive direction. And basically I have a good amount of faith in the CEO until basically he proves me wrong, and hopefully he doesn't. What do you think about this one? Make sure to mention down in the comments below. Share, subscribe, and like, and have a wonderful day.